NeonicVoid Productions presents.
We need to start doing more hot takes. Like beginning of each episode is just something like just randomness.
Uh, like what?
I
I mean, like we used to, we just have random conversation. Just then, just one of us randomly starts.
mhm.
Oh god.
I mean, this right here could definitely be the hot take.
Yeah, yeah, it most certainly could. I probably will put it that way.
hmm I'm Cosmo. This is Wanda, and we're your fairy godparents. No, never mind. No,
Oh my god.
we don't want to be copyrighted. I mean, I don't know. There's so many content creators out there that like they always do that.
Yeah.
Always make so I don't know like what happens. I think like SpongeBob and Fairy Odd Parents are now like public domain. Or some
No,
there's a cer
they're not.
no?
They're not.
Yeah.
Public domain in the United States, you need at least what? It's like what, almost 100 years or something after the after publication and or 80 something like that after a person's death or some shit. I mean, Mickey
Oh
Mouse, well, Steamboat Willie just went up to public domain as of January, beginning of this month.
oh my god.
Yeah. Not the design of Mickey Mouse we have today, but the original one.
Wow. That little mouse on the boat that would just
Yep.
whistle?
Yep.
Yeah.
Steamboat Willie.
So we can say so you can leave Steamboat Willie in here, but you would probably have to, like, redact or censor anytime I say, like, Fairly Odd Parents or SpongeBob.
Oh no, you can keep that in there. You're just saying it. We're not showing any depictions of them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on The Book Watchers. That was our take on copyright
Wow.
infringement. Anyway, uh, I I am one of your hosts with although I want to say the most, I don't feel like I deserve to say that right now. So
Oh,
I'm your host, Jacob, and of course I am joined with the beautiful, stunning, and currently infected.
currently infected, you bitch. How dare
Hey,
you?
I get to drag you at least once
That's
for the
true. I did expose you if you weren't already exposed before.
yeah. So I'm joined with Devin, who is currently sitting at home in front of a
Yeah.
live pre-recorded audience,
Yeah. Mhm, mhm, mhm,
and
mhm.
he just tested positive for COVID a couple days
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. 2
And
days
and
ago. Yeah.
it was on his partner's birthday,
Yeah.
and we were just yeah, so, we all went to his house for his partner's birthday, and Devin was like, "Oh, I'm not feeling so hot." I'm like, "Yeah,
But
probably
I
in
had
fair."
but I had no fever or anything because I was checking my fever throughout the day. No fever whatsoever. I was perfectly
And then
fine as far as that goes. And then, oh God.
and
And
then,
that
like, towards the end
night,
of the night
yeah.
yeah, then the end of the night, he started feeling feverish, so he took his temperature, he came back with
Uh-huh.
a 101 a temperature of 101, and then he did
101.
and then he did a COVID test, and it came back
Uh-huh.
positive.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
I
Mhm.
I'll be honest, I was really ticked off with him because the whole night he was fooling around and he kept poking me in the face
Yeah. Mhm. I did. I
because
did. I did.
because Devin here likes to bug me by poking
Yep.
me, and he
Mhm.
pokes me in
Yep.
the face
Yep.
with his
Mhm.
COVID fingers. So
Fingers. I said I was sorry. I didn't know.
I know, I'm just giving you shit. But, so far
I felt so bad.
yeah, I know you felt bad, and I felt bad afterwards because I was like, "Oh, man, I was probably really mean." "Devin, you
No.
fucker!"
I'm sorry.
Well well, I probably already was exposed to COVID, like, around the same time you and, uh, housekeeper was, because
Yeah.
Tiff housekeeper has also tested positive for COVID,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so the four of us, because James also got exposed,
Mm-hmm.
probably all got exposed at the same time, because the four of us were also a a New Year's party, and then we all saw each other again at this game store we go to play D&D,
Yeah.
and you know, and then now Tiff and Devin are sick, and James and
Yeah.
we're like, our allergies are really bad because every year around, like, because we're recording right now in like January. This is our actual first episode of the new year, 2024. Yay!
Yeah.
And uh around this time of the year, it's a crazy thing. Dust from the Sahara Desert blows all the way across the Atlantic and settles right on San Antonio.
Uh, yeah. In the Gulf.
So
Yeah.
I noticed it yesterday because I was working, and when I was driving, it rained a bit, and for some reason the rain was like this milky color. It was like a
Ew.
murky, it was kind of whitish instead of just clear. It was like, it had this whitish color, and like as it dried, it just left this like dusty residue everywhere. And I was talking to James. He was like, "I'm not feeling good, man," and he took a COVID test, but he's negative, so he's fine. Um, I'm negative, so I haven't caught COVID, unless of course I end up do catching COVID later, because someone over here couldn't keep his fucking fingers to himself.
Oh my God.
All right, but but we're just all like, everyone's getting sick. Half of us
Yeah.
got COVID. The other half has like really bad allergies from like, just 'cause San Antonio. My God, we had like, all throughout the wintertime, our pollen season just gets so bad here. But anyway, uh,
And my roommate and my partner do not have it as of right now. No signs of it anyway, which is surprising, but they have showed no signs of it either. So, and I sleep next to
yeah.
one of them. Their mentality was kind of funny because, at least with my partner, because he was like, you know what? Shit happens. And I'm like, you're not going to, do you want me just to go to the room and just chill in there until I'm over this? He's like, no. It's like, why? If you already have it, we're already contaminated. So why quarantine you? We ain't going anywhere. And they work from home, so regardless if they have COVID, they still have to go to work. So they're like, oh, we don't give a shit. But they haven't shown any signs yet. So I take my first COVID test again tomorrow to figure out, to get an update on that. What's going on there? But I'm hoping it's done soon. Anyway, welcome to Book Watchers, where
Yeah.
I think next Christmas and New Year's I might have to just stay home because I this is my second time getting it around this time of the year. Last year it was around Christmas, like right before Christmas, and then I got it during New Year's. Whoever gave it to me, your mom's a hoe. But
And
yeah,
for some reason, like, I've been exposed to COVID more times to than I care to count or admit, but I have yet to catch it. I don't want to jinx
knock
myself,
on
but
wood, knock on wood. Nonetheless, welcome to Book Watchers. In the in the description below, you'll see a link to thy link tree that will take you to all the other shows of the NeonicVoid Productions. Sorry, a cough drop went down the wrong way. Um, yeah, you'll see links to the other podcast shows as well as the YouTube channel. So go check those out. Now on to today's episode. Normally, Mr. Giant Fuckface McGee over here, Jacob, normally leads the episode, talk about some gay shit in a book for 2 hours. And sometimes I'll walk away and sometimes I don't. It's not that kind of episode today, y'all. No.
nah. Devan decided he wanted to read some books for once,
I
and
know. And I did. I read several. Well, kind of read. I consider it reading. It's not cheating. It's still reading. It's audiobooks. That's still reading because I follow a law. But I've been on an audio book kick. Audible, please sponsor us. Thank you. So for the next couple weeks, and then from there we go back. We'll basically just start going back and forth because I'm getting to the book shindig over here. So Jacob's not the only one anymore. So today I'm going to talk about a book. And let me tell you, I fucking love this book. Right from the get-go, it's so good. Brahm is the author, and sir, if I ever meet you, girl, I want to bow at your feet because I love this book. He is so good at his writing. So the book I'm going to be talking about today is called Slewfoot by Brahm. Now, this book was published September 21st, 2021, and it is a fantasy historical fiction horror. Of course, it was done. The book was written and illustrated by Brahm. Brahm, or AKA Gerald Brahm, is an American Gothic fantasy artist as well as an author. Obviously, outside of writing the small list of books that he's written maybe, God, how many books has he written? He's written less than like 7 or 8. Outside of that, he does a lot of cover art for a lot of things. So he did the cover art for the books with Witches of the Coast, The War of the Spider Queen. That's 6-book series. He did the cover art for all that. He did concept art for movies like Scooby-Doo and Galaxy Quest. He's did video game covers for games like Diablo 2, 3, and 4. And he's also done work for Wizards of the Coast Magic the Gathering series. So he is pretty well ingrained in stuff I like, surprisingly enough. And the illustrations in this book, like most of his books, have like a whole midsection of all like his work, his artwork that goes along with the book you're reading, with like character designs, concept art, and shit. It's so goddamn good. Like, sir, I need to meet you. So,
what was his name again?
Brahm, Brom. And the book is, of course, Slewfoot, A Tale of Bewitchery. So, to start things off with this lovely, lovely story, this book centers around a young English woman named Abatha Williams, who was sent, Williams because she was married, but first name is Abatha, and she was sent to the New World in the 1660s to be married off to a stranger. This stranger was a farmer known as Edward Williams, and she lives with him on a farm outside of a small village that they reside in. Abatha is a short, stringy, very thin woman with bright red hair. Of course, this is like during the 1600s, so everything's all like fear. Okay, let me give you a good placement as far as like time period. Think the movie The Witch. That setting, it's pretty much that. Abatha is a child of a cunning woman, which for those of you who don't know, cunning folk, or for the most part, cunning women, are known as folk healers, wise folk. They're the ones that do the healing remedies with herbs and stuff of that nature, as well as sometimes they practice witchcraft. So she doesn't consider this Abatha does not consider this witchcraft in any way. She sees it as just using nature to its fullest potential for healing and helpful remedies and charms to help herself as well as others that come to her for these such things. So that does does bury deep inside of her. She does practice the same things that her mother and her mother's mother and her mother's mother's mother did. It's a long line of women that do these type of work. From there, we start off the story in the New World. Of course, she meets Edward Williams. She marries him. Edward is a man who is sadly gets taken advantage of. He's kind of a doormat, unfortunately. And Abatha always tries to be like, hey, you shouldn't let people just walk all over you. She tries to encourage him to be more assertive in village life and not letting people, including his own family, walk all over him and take advantage of him, of his kind nature. Now, Edward is very well aware of what his wife does, and he's perfectly okay with it. He encourages it. In return, she also encourages him to be more himself. So throughout the story, it's mentioned a couple of times, but Edward likes to draw, but drawing apparently means witchcraft, if you didn't know. So Edward likes to doodle a lot, and he was told at a very young age that that's wrong, that's witchcraft, that's heresy. So he stopped doing that. But his wife always encourages him to pick that skill up again, and dive into that more, and just be more himself instead of having to hide parts of himself away because of religion. Because again, during this time period, religion's everything. God, be a God-fearing man. Fear God for everything. From there, we also meet Edward's younger brother, whose name's Wallace. And he is a prime example of somebody who takes advantage of Edward. So the farm they live on outside of their village is a farm that is owned by Wallace, but Edward and Abatha have been making payments on it to eventually have the farm be theirs. By the time the story begins, they're on their last payment. So by the end of that year, when they make their last payment of crop, corn, whatever else, they own the farm at that point. So the book then continues, and that's some background work, but it actually begins with their goat. Their goat known as Samson. Weird name for a goat, but okay. Their lonely little black goat likes to went to go traveling in the woods, came across a cave, fell down to a ditch, and then was brutally murdered by some fae, some spirits. You don't really know what, but these things talk, and you spirits feed this goat to this creature that they call Father. And this is one of the two characters that this book jumps back and forth with. Father and then Abatha. So it jumps back and forth a lot. So in this plot summary, talking about the main plot, I'm not going to go over every little nook and cranny because there's a lot. That and some of the surprises in here, I don't want to give a lot away. Like the main points and like the ending and stuff I will talk about, but there's other little things here and there that are just not really that important, but they're kind of just fun to read. So I do encourage you to read this book after this episode if you're interested. Any whoosies. So yeah, Father wakes up in this ditch. He's some spirit guardian thing. He doesn't know what the hell he is, but he's told by these, what they call wild folk, hey, feed on this goat. You're the slayer. And he's like, what am I? I'm not alive. I'm dead. And they're like, no, we brought you back. You have to say Popo. What's Popo? A tree that it's a tree that grows these fruit that is pure magic. And that is the underlying story with Samson, aka Slewfoot, or father. Spoiler alert. The father, he is brought back to life by the wild folk to try and protect this new sapling that these spirits have planted, and they call it Popo. And it grows and grows into this bloody light tree that sprouts these fruit. That if you eat said fruit, it gives you access to magic from the earth, from Mother Nature herself. It's a lot. It's cool though. The imagery in this book, like Brahm knows how to really paint a picture. I mean, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
So, from there, after her father is brought back, Abatha is, of course, looking for her goat that is now dead at the bottom of a ditch in this cave. And she is looking for Samson, and she has no idea that he's dead. And she's like, well, shit, I lost a goddamn goat. Now I gotta go back home and tell my husband, fuck. Because she is a woman that gets in trouble a lot because she likes to speak her mind, and she doesn't want to add this to her repertoire of things. So she does go back home, and she unfortunately tells her husband, oh yeah, so Samson, the goat, is probably gone. Well, now we're without a goat. So from there, we kind of get to see Abatha and Edward's life throughout, with jumping back and forth between him and with them and father. Abatha and Edward go to town every I think 2 days, things like Thursday and Sunday, I think, that they go to church in the village, and of course listen to the pastor and spew the God's word, blah 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 blah, religious folk. And everyone looks down on Abatha because she is not of their town. She is obviously from England, and they look down upon her for that, as well as many other things. They don't like the fact that
they're definitely the type that is like, we don't take kindly to your kind around here.
That, yeah. That and the fact that Abatha has a mouth on her. She won't take any shit from anybody. She has a tendency to call people out. She likes to speak first, think later. Like someone will say, oh, you're a bitch. And she'll turn around, you're a fucking cum-guzzing whore. And she's like, I probably shouldn't have said that. Because one part, there's a bunch of women that fucking hate Abatha for whatever reason. And she turned around. I'm trying to think of the insult because it was so good. She turned around. She called them all a bunch of a gaggle of clucking cunts. And I'm like, a gaggle of clucking cunts? I need to write that one down for an insult because I was like, oh, this is great. I love Abatha. She's amazing. I have that insult in my insult book now. So you groups of people out there, better watch out. So there's a lot of that. It's great. It's great. Old English, the way people speak is fantastic. It's funny. So town doesn't look too fondly of her. Edward, of course, is a native to this town. His father was a well-known farmer. May he rest in peace. His brother has his father's farm while he also has their farm. And of course, Wallace gives the farm to Edward. Say, cool, pay it off. Great. You'll have the farm once you make your payments. Bada bing, bada boom. And Wallace likes to take advantage of his brother and just like throws little jabs at him and takes more than he should or pops over whenever the hell he wants. Like he can just walk into the door and demand drink and food, whatever he feels like. And Abatha's like, what the fuck is he doing? We have barely enough food to feed ourselves. Why the fuck are we feeding him when he can go home? Why? So she's annoyed with him, as she should, and he does not like her either. So there's a lot of family drama between Edward Wallace and Abatha. Throughout this whole story, we also go back to father, which he finds out he gets actually a good look at himself, and he's a goat man. And they call it, the people of the town referred to him as Slewfoot. Of course, he's kind of a representation of the devil as well. So, he tries to figure out who he is and what his purpose is, because he only has certain memories and he's missing a good chunk of himself as well as his life. He only knows little bits and snippets of stuff that's happened to him in his last life, but his children or the wild folk are not helpful in with him trying to figure out who he is or what he came or what he was like beforehand, because they just refer to him as the Slayer, the Guardian, that his job is to slay humans and take back the forest and protect Popo and slaughter anyone that breathes basically in the general direction of them. But he's like, there has to be more than me than just slaughtering. So he's going through a crisis of trying to figure out who the fuck he is. Now, to go into the wild folk that revived him, so you have three. These three spirits are known as Forest, which is, now buckle up, shit's gonna get weird. So Forest is a possum that stands upright on his legs, and the possum's mouth is open, and a child's face is coming out of the mouth. If that makes sense. So you have a possum standing upright, its mouth open, and a child's head's face sticking out of it, like kind of like a child's wearing a possum suit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's like that. And then that's Forest. And then you got Sky, which is a crow with his beak open with a child's face coming out of it. And then you got Creek, which is a fish with the fish's mouth open. And you see a child's face coming out of it. Let me tell you. Yeah. These things are fucking weird. And the depictions of artwork in here are quite weird as well, because he drew depictions of these spirits, these wild folk, and they're fucking bizarre. But again, I live for it. So there you go. You got Forest, Sky, and Creek. Now, of course, they brought him back, be the Slayer, kill the humans, take back the land that's theirs, that does not belong to any of them. Everything was fine until humans came over. That includes, outside of the settlers from Europe, they also talk about the natives a lot, or the language that they used back in the day, Indians, of course. Now we know that they're not. We don't usually use the term Indian today. We just call them native. So the native folk, they also talk about them as well, because of course they talk about the frozen bridge and how the people came from across that frozen bridge over into this land. And so you get a little history lesson kind of too about how they've been having this problem with people coming in ever since the migration with the frozen bridge from Russia over to North America. So how the wild folk don't like anybody, white, native, doesn't matter. They don't like you. You're sucking up the Earth's resources, and you're killing Mother Earth. We shall kill you and bathe in your blood. It's basically what it is. They're just like, hey, Father, how about you go bathe in their blood, drink their blood, bathe in their blood, blood. That's their big thing. Spill the blood of humanity, ravish them. And they're kind of bloodthirsty. Well, Forest is, because Creek and Sky don't talk. But Forest is kind of the mouthpiece that speaks for all three of them. He's also more of the radical of the three wild folk. And they're the last three of the wild folk as far as we know. They talk about how it's just those three left and how the others are gone. There were many, many, many other of these spirits, fae, wild folk, whatever you want to call them. There's many more of them, but due to reasons, there's only three left. And with these three, they use their combined magic to bring back Father from the dead. Now, Father does get these memories of a shaman that pops up in his head a lot. And he's like, who's this shaman? And Boris is like, you don't go near that shaman. That shaman's bad fucking news. You see him, kill him on sight. Don't go looking for him. And what does he do? You can kind of guess what happens there. So, of course, their whole goal is to try to save Popo, to try to get more blood spilt so Popo can grow and get more fruit from this magical tree. And basically, I kind of got the hunch that this Popo tree is kind of like the garden. It's like I don't know if it necessarily is a reference to the Garden of Eden and how the fruit gives you knowledge and shit. But I'm kind of getting that vibe because they don't really explain Popo too much throughout the story. They kind of just say, "Oh, this tree was a big old thing back in the day, and people got too hungry with it, and they ended up killing it." But they never really give you more of a definite like origin of this tree. But me being me and reading and listening to it, I was like, is this supposed to be like the Garden of Eden and the forbidden fruit? There's also a serpent that pops up a lot too in the story.
There's a definite allegory there.
Yeah, there's definitely an allegory there. And I'm like, okay, I see you, Brahm. I see you. So from there, they talk about how Popo used to be this, of course, this very humongous tree, and how they tell Father part like a fabricated, well, soon to be found out, a fabricated story of his life and how he was only a slayer. He murdered everybody. That's all he ever did for Mother Earth. And he's like, I don't buy that. So he's not listening to any of the bullshit the spirits are telling him. He's like, I'm going to go find out what is going on. So he starts venturing off. And, well, before then, Abatha's husband gets murdered.
Ooh.
So what happens there, he goes into the cave, and he ends up falling into the hole as well, and he basically, the wild folk kill Edward, and Father devours Edward's blood and feeds on him. Agatha has no idea what happened, where her husband is, so they just announce, oh, he's dead. So they have a big old funeral for him, and she's now officially a widow. And due to her husband's death, Wallace tries to take advantage of this because he has loans and debts of his own, and he tries to auction off the farm. Now, he tried doing this while Edward was still alive, but Edward is like, with Abatha talking him through it, basically. And she's like, because Wallace was like, oh, so we're gonna, I'm gonna give the farm to this man, this powerful judge-like figure. I think it was a judge. This judge-like figure, because I have loans and debts with him. I'm gonna give him your farm, so you have to pay him, but you're gonna have to pay him a whole lot more so you can get the farm. And maybe one day you might get the farm, but you'll be under his jurisdiction, not mine. And Abatha's like, what the fuck do you mean? We have one payment left before this farm is ours. Why are you doing this? And Wallace is like, well, you know how it is. I don't want to give up my farm. My farm was my father's. You don't want me to give up that, right, big brother? And with Abatha's is like, nah, he's shitting you. Don't play that bullshit. So Edward finally stands up to his brother, and then not too long after he does that, he's dead. So now Wallace thinks this is easy pickings. He can get the farm back because a woman can't own shit. Well, did Wallace know? Because Abatha got that bright idea. There is a widow inside the town that her husband died, but she's able to run the farm in his name. So technically she can own the farm. So she's like, no. The farm is still under my control. And he's like, what the fuck do you mean? Your husband's dead. And she's like, so I can still run the farm in his name and it belongs to me. And I have one more payment. And once that payment is made at the end of October, or I think it's the end of October or beginning of October, sometime in October. Once this payment is made in October during the harvest, this farm is fucking mine. And Wallace is like, no, it's fucking not. So Wallace has a vendetta against his sister-in-law. Try to get this goddamn farm, and he just won't stop. Once she gets the higher ups of the village to back her up on her end with the whole, as long as she has the farm on her husband's name and she works it, it's hers. He comes back and he's like, hey, I will give you an offer. You give me the farm. You come live in my house. You be my servant to pay off your rest of your debts. And of course, you can also marry my son. So you can have a stance in this community. And she's like, are you fucking insane? I'm not marrying my nephew, let alone moving into your goddamn house. The fuck? So she lays into him. She's like, no, I'm not doing that shit. Of course, that's his second plan. Wallace is like, fuck this shit. So he bounces after that, and she tries to work the farm by herself, which turns out is a lot more of a struggle than initially thought. Because she's by herself, and she's like a stream being, like 5 foot nothing, itty bitty little ginger girl, adult woman that's just struggle bus. So going back to Father and Abatha end up meeting. Surprise, surprise. About damn time. If I remember correctly, I think Abatha ends up going back to the cave and comes across either the spirits or Father. And then from there, after scaring the shit out of her, she becomes quite friendly with them, with the spirits as well as Father. Now, the spirits, the wild folk, Creek and Sky like her, but Forrest does not. Forrest is like, we should just kill her. You should kill her. Because they've been watching her the whole time, and they targeted her husband. They wanted to target Wallace, but Wallace wasn't around, and they wanted to target Abatha. But Father's like, no, she hasn't done anything. She's innocent. Why would I want to do anything but that? So her and Father, or as the name's thrown around, Slewfoot, become close. From there, she starts learning a little bit about herself as well as Slewfoot, or Father. She tries to help him figure out his memories, tries to walk through his head, trying to align the memories and she tries to help him remember stuff, as well as he helps her around the farm and teaches her how to use magic and how to use the energy of the earth with the help of Father to do magic, basically. So she does learn that she is known as a magic folk, or as what Forrest called her. Said she's one of the magic folk. And he doesn't like that. He's like, the only people that should be using magic is us, not these people. So he tries to kill her. There's that one point where Forrest ends up trying to kill Abatha with a bunch of these poisonous snakes. And with the healing magic of Father and Abatha herself, she was able to heal herself from the venom of all these poisonous snakes that Forrest sent after her to try and kill her. Because she got bit by a good 10, 12 snakes. Like this whole horde of venomous snakes all came in and started biting her relentlessly one night. And she was like, screaming, blood-curdling screams, and then, of course, father came by and ran up, and with the help of him, of course, healed herself. And that's when she knew, oh shit, I have magic. And then that's where she kind of drew the connection that her mother and her mother's mother, she's from a long line of women who are magically inclined. So, and then father takes on the name of Samson, the name of the goat, because Abatha does find out that father and the wild folk killed her goat and her husband. She was a little upset about her husband, but she forgave Samson, aka father, because he didn't know any better. He was starving, and he listened to the wild folk, so he killed to survive. So she didn't really hold a grudge against that. While all this is happening, Abatha has not been to church for quite some time. I think like 6 months, because she got permission from the minister to take a leave of absence so she can work on the farm. Everyone finds that to be fucking weird. And Wallace, of course, is onto his shenanigans, trying to devise some plan to get the upper hand on his sister-in-law to get that goddamn farm. Because he went about the way of law, did not work. He went about the way of trying to bargain with her, plead, did not work. She told him to go piss off. And his last-ditch effort, one of his last ideas, was to destroy her crop. So he got him, his son, Isaac, and a couple natives that live in a village, the next village over, all decided to work together to steal her crop. The natives get to take a chunk of it, as well as Wallace takes a chunk of it. And when they come by and she does not have her crop, she could take the farm, or he could take the farm. So they go try to rob the place. Abatha comes out with a musket, shoots one of them, kills them, and everyone basically runs for it. So they set the barn on fire. She loses majority of her crop because it burns to the ground, and a good portion of it was stolen. But she has an idea on who did it, obviously, but she can't prove it because she has no evidence that he was there. Outside the fact that she did shoot at him, and he got grazed by a bullet, so he has an injury from it. But again, unless he shows the injury, it's her word against his, outside of the dead native that's in her yard. From there, Wallace is just like, well, shit, now I've got nothing else going on. Well, actually, scratch that. He was like, no, she has no crop. I'm good. It's gonna be easy pickings in October. Fantastic. What he doesn't know is that Samson is a thing, and with the help of Samson and Abatha, Abatha regrows her crops with magic. And I'm just like, ooh. So when the crop does come back around, the payment, Wallace comes by and thinking that, oh, I'm going to get the farm back. It's going to be great. Plot twist. No, it doesn't. She has the crop, and he's like, how the fuck do you have the crop? You shouldn't have the crop. And she's like, what do you mean, Wallace? Why would I not have the crop? Gosh, why would I not? Do you have something to say? Do you have something to tell us all? Tell the class. But he's like, I had nothing to say. And, well, she wins, kind of. She wins. And I'm trying to remember if this is the part where he beats the shit out of her. I think this might be the part. Because she pays the payment. But she has a smart mouth, so she tells off Wallace, calling him inferior and basically a royal piece of shit. He doesn't like this, so he goes up and starts beating the shit out of her in front of the higher ups of the village. And she gets, basically, he breaks her leg like really bad. And yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think that's during the harvest, either when she makes the payment or not too long after. But either way, she gets the shit beat out of her by Wallace, and he's not giving up on this. He's going to get this farm back one way or another. So now they're doing a Rancons mission. Now they're staking out the place. They're going to try to find something to hold over Abatha's head to get that farm back. So Isaac and Wallace stake out the farm, and they see her making a wreath of flowers and hair. And they claim, can you take a guess on what they claim? Jacob?
Wait, what?
Wow. You were listening to me too? Wow. Gotcha.
Yeah, you cut out there.
No, what was the last thing you heard?
Okay, so they saw her making a wreath out of
Yes.
flowers and hair?
Yes. And can you guess what they claimed? Witchcraft, yeah.
Witchcraft.
It's a witch. So they steal the wreath, and they steal a few other trinkets and stuff, and they get with the townsfolk, and everyone starts claiming witch. A witch! She's a witch! Ah! And people that were nice to her turn on her, because no one wants to be brought down with her. The only woman that stands her ground and saying that she's not a witch is the minister's wife, because at one point the minister's daughter was sick with, oh God, I can't remember what it was, the measles or some shit. I think it was the measles. And she was sick with the measles, and Abatha came by to offer her aid. Since she was technically a cunning woman, she used her magic, but she disguised it as the Lord's Prayer to see if she can basically get away with it. And she healed their daughter with magic taken from the earth that she's learned from Samson. So she technically is a witch, technically speaking, but she doesn't see herself in that way, or at least in the context that they're painting her as, because they're painting her as this monster. But she's like, I've only done good with this. So everyone's coming out of the woodwork. Oh, she charmed us. Oh, this thing burns. Like people are throwing charms and shit that she's made for them, saying that they burn. And the girl that she healed from sickness said that, oh, I saw her with goat horns. She's the devil. And her mother is like, no, she's not a witch. So she was on trial with Abatha for assisting a witch. So from there, Abatha gets charged and sentenced to death, while the minister's wife is not saying guilty whatsoever. She's sticking to her guns, and she's going through a torture method that is, God, how would I describe it? She sits down on her, I think it's on her knees, and you stick like boulders on your thighs, and it gets heavier and heavier and heavier until your body is crushed underneath it. They try to break her, basically. She ends up breaking, pleading that she's a witch because she doesn't want... Abatha begs her just to plead guilty, so all she has to suffer is a year of jail, because she doesn't want her daughter to be without a mother. And because Abatha's like, I'm already going to die. Save yourself. And she breaks, and she pleads guilty, so they take her away, and then it's just Abatha. Now, a few people in the town have treated her like a person, because at this point, everyone's treating her like she's a monster, some animal. While there are a few people scattered, like the sheriff of the town treats her like a human still and thinks all of this is fucking insane because they hear about the witch trials that happen several villages over and how extreme they are and how people just turn on each other. And the minister was basically, it was like, oh, well, shit, now that shit's here. So there's a lot of people in town think this is insane, just bad shit insanity, but no one cares. They're still gonna hang her. So they end up hanging her, not by the neck though. They want her to be hung in a slow, painful death. So they hang her by the ankles. So they attach her up to her ankles and hang her up from a tree so all the blood rushes down to her head, and it's a slow and painful death. And as they put it, it takes like 3 to 4 days for someone to die that way. And I'm like, damn, that's evil. And she has a broken leg and she's already injured up because Wallace beat the shit out of her. And she suffers through this. During all this, while this is happening, Samson, aka Slewfoot, is on a journey to find this shaman. He finds this shaman that he keeps having memories of. And it turns out the shaman's not a shaman, he's a demon, some spider demon, who has a name that I am not going to try to pronounce because it's a very long, awkward name. Let me see if I'm going to look at it. Maybe I can actually say it. Who knows?
Put it in the chat. Let me see.
Oh, got it. Oh, nope, not there. Oh, da, 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 da.
You should put it in the Book Watchers chat.
I am.
Putting it in the props.
Oh, well, let me move that over then. Oopsies. There you go. Momamet?
Monoppet.
Momamet? Actually, let me see.
Monoppet.
Let's see. Maybe I can actually get somebody to say this for me.
Mamun Nappet. Mamunappet.
Yeah. So it is in English, I guess in English it is a word compared to spider. So this shaman is this creature, and it's a spider-like abomination. And he lives in a hut not too far from the neighboring village that has the tribe, because this creature has been hiding out as a shaman amongst this tribe. So inside his hut where Samson goes, he sees a bunch of these masks, as well as one that is a skull of a stag. So he's like, I don't know what I am or who I am. And the shaman's like, I got you. I could save you. Don't worry about it. So he puts him to sleep. And he's been having these memories of these spiders that put him into this deep slumber and trap him constantly as he tries to battle so he doesn't hear these demons that are like scratching the back of his brain, these voices that tell him to kill, destroy, kill, whatever. And when he gets to the shaman, he's just like, I just want all these voices to stop, put me to sleep, puts him to sleep. He figures out this is not the way. All this is a goddamn lie. All the masks are different wild folk that he's killed, and stores their spirits in these masks on these walls, and the walls are just covered in them. So from inside his mask of the skull stag, he shatters a bunch of these masks, these different wild folk and spirits, as the spirits are released and free from their containment. And eventually, Samson learns about his history. He's not a goat man. He's a golden stag. And he's also a figure from Celtic slash Celtic Wiccan lore. He's known as the great horned god.
Kernunon?
Yes. They don't actually call him by that name, but they say the great horned god. And I'm like, I know who that is. But yeah, it turns out he's the great horned god. So.
It's Kernunos, or I don't know. Okay, so spelling wise, it looks like it says Kernunos, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced very differently. Hold on, let me see. Cernunos.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he's the great horned god from that lore. And I'm like, ooh, I know what this is. I know the horned god. I like this. This is great. So he gets freed. He kills the spider demon. And he goes back to Abatha, finds out what's happening, and he goes and frees Abatha from the tree after he kills some of the people watching over guarding her while she dies. And then Abatha makes a choice. She's on the brink of death by this point. She's on the brink of just dying. And she's like, give me your blood. She makes a choice, give me your blood. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, give me your blood. Abatha is dead. Basically, they want a monster. Okay, I'll give them the fucking monster. And Samson's like, once you do this, you can't go back. And she's like, I don't want to go back. So he cuts open his hand and she drinks his blood. And her body changes, obviously. And her legs end up turning to these deer-like legs. These fauna-like legs. And she feels that she's starting to develop horns coming from her skull. She becomes a witch. She really dives into, like the end of the movie, The Witch. She's like, you know what? Fuck it. Y'all think I'm a monster? Okay, I'm going to become that monster. So she does. Then, what does she do? She goes on a killing rampage. She targets every single person that did her wrong, one by one. And let me tell you, me talking about it is not going to do it justice. Y'all going to have to read the book. It's so good. She gets revenge on the judge and the people who put her in the tree, who tried to kill her. She gets revenge on several of the town folk. She kills a couple of those women and that group of women that hate her, because they were the ones that also kind of damned her. So they killed her, a couple of them. They did what she did to Wallace. So good. So Wallace, I will talk about the Wallace one because it's real good. So Wallace is at home at his house having dinner with his daughter and his wife. And they're having a conversation, whatever. His daughter, of course, was one of the people who said that outside of Isaac is the oldest son, while his youngest daughter also was one of the ones that are like, oh, Abatha's a witch, she cursed me. And she is gloating about it. So Slewfoot or Samson and Abatha walked into the house, bust open the house. And she goes to the daughter and she puts an L in her forehead. She sticks her nail into her forehead and puts an L. She doesn't kill her. She's like, I'm going to scar you with this L. So everyone knows you're a fucking liar. And she basically scares the shit out of Wallace's wife and his daughter. They run off. That's the last you see of them. They run off into the woods. They run away. She lets them live, but she scars the hell out of the daughter and scares the shit out of her. So the devil will come for you when you die. Best believe it. But we'll give you this little L to be a reminder. Wherever you are, we're 2 steps behind you. Scares the shit out of her. It's so great. And then she gets to Wallace. She breaks her and Samson break Wallace's limbs to a bloody pulp. And when he thinks it's done, when he's on the floor, his arms are mangled and his legs are destroyed, these beetles start coming up out of the floor and the wood and start burrowing into his skin, eating him from the inside out alive. It's so great. I'm like, ugh, the sweet revenge. Yeah, so great. And with these magical powers, she can also withstand bullets to an extent. Like, people have shot at her and she's pretty much fine, but she does know, she learned real quick that she has a limit. So majority of the people were held up in the church, the chapel, and they were firing off a shit ton of bullets at Abatha and Samson. She got hit a bunch of times. She almost died. But as they try to heal her, Samson gets pissed and runs inside the church and basically just rips everyone to shreds. It's a bloodbath. It's great. Like the revenge story. I love it. I want to make this into a movie. That's what I want to do. I want to take this book and make it into a movie directed by me. This is what I want. Oh, so good. But she almost dies at the end, and they end up bringing her back. And basically she learns, okay, I can't fuck around like this. I can live a long ass life, but I can't fuck around like this anymore. And she's like, I got my revenge on everybody. Cool. And then she spends the rest of her days in the woods. Then we jump to 1972, where we join two men in the mountains of West Virginia as they come across a red-headed woman on this trail in the Appalachians. And they're like, hey, are you lost? Are you okay? And she's, of course, it's Abatha. She's still alive. She's friendly. She's like, oh no, it's fine. And she takes him back to her house, and she ends up introducing him to her friend, or her friends, the wild folk, and Samson, or as he says, the devil. And the last, actually, let me read that for you. So I'm assuming they still are feeding on people, obviously. But, so, so after the men see the wild folk and everything, and they're like, what in the hell? And then the woman walked up to the men and peered down at them. Oh, I forgot to mention Samson will be joining us soon. And they're like, Samson? Who's Samson? And Abatha, in the last two words of the book, is the devil. And that's the last you hear of Abatha and in the current, well, kind of current day. So that's pretty much the story of Slewfoot, a bewitchery, tale of bewitchery, sorry. That is the end of the book. I had pretty much all the major plot points of it. Thoughts on the book. Again, I love this shit. As you all can tell. Go on.
I definitely would like to read it, but I have like a whole list of books I'm reading right now, so it's going to be a long time before I ever read it.
Well, when you do, I have the physical copy of it. Just let me know. I'll let you borrow it.
All right.
It's a great book. And then I also have Brahm also did a work called The Child Thief. It's basically a retelling of Peter Pan, but from a horror perspective of it. And I'm like, ooh, I want to read that. I have a physical copy of that, so that's on my list of things to read. But nonetheless, but no, I love this book. This book is great. The whole revenge plot at the very end, where she tries to do good for the town. She tries to mind her own goddamn business and do her own thing, but everyone's all up in her business, telling her what to do and how to live her life. and shit, and how her brother-in-law tries to rule the roost and she's just not having it. At the very end where she's like, you know what, fuck it. And they're like, Abatha? And she's like, no, Abatha's dead. It's the monster it's the monster you wanted. So here I am. Love that. Again, if you like the movie The Witch from A24 by Robert Eggers, this book is for you. It's basically a young woman driven to becoming the monster that everyone feared her to be to begin with. So everyone gets their comeuppance at the end. So, was meaning to say, did we want to start doing a rating system for the books?
Yeah. So I guess like based on the theme of the book, we will do like a kind of like a 5-star system, but like so
Okay.
for Slewfoot's. Yeah, so in Slewfoot's case, since she ended up getting cloven hooves, we could do like a rating system on
1 to 5 hooves.
1 to 5 hooves, and
Oh
so on.
gosh. Okay. Bet. So this will be the first episode of season 3, actually. Since we'll have the new system, I'm actually gonna pull up the production value a little bit on this, put some background music and shit. Like I'm gonna make this sound a little better, add a little more
Ooh.
emphasis to stories and shit. So, yeah, this will be the first episode of season 3. Woo. As far as the rating for me, I would rate this book. I mean, I don't want to give it a 5 out of 5. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. A 5 out of 5 hooves. Like, I love this book. I wasn't kidding when I said that I wanted to make a movie based around this book. I do. It's so good.
Yeah, based on what you said, it does sound like it's deserving of a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely well, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5, just because like I haven't read the book yet, and from what you're telling me, it does sound really good.
Especially
So
if you like historical fiction with like a little dab of horror and fantasy and drama. Yeah, this is right up y'all's alley. It's great. Now,
yeah,
again, huh?
yeah. Oh yeah, I agree.
So,
Yeah.
for the next coming weeks, again, for the next couple weeks, I'll be doing books. I'll be the one running the show for a little bit. I do have a list of books to do, so trust. Some of them are going to be more fucked than others. There's a few I've read that are really, well, one in particular that's really, it's in the category of extreme horror. So
I will. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and put a veto on that one, because I think that one is just too. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think that, like, from what you've told me about Womb,
yeah,
is
yeah,
is no, it is too.
too much. That's
It's
fair.
too much.
That's
It's too
fair.
much. It's space like you thought. I thought like well before you told me about that book, I thought Hellbound Hearts, at least that first scene uh
Uh-huh.
in chapter 1 was
Yeah.
bad, and from what you're
Uh-huh.
telling me, this is like the whole
Uh-huh.
book of just that.
Uh-huh. More or less. Yeah, some parts are worse than others, but for the most part, especially towards the end, it gets really fucked. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mm,
That's
mm-mm.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. I left it up to you if you were gonna if you would let me talk about it or not, because I would have done it in a way where it would have been as graphic. But no, that's perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. I have other ones I can get into. How many books? Yeah. So to give you a little glimpse of what's cooking, I am currently working on the summary as well as other material for Neil Gaiman's American Gods. So that'll be happening soon. That'll probably be happening not for a couple weeks, but that's happening. Great book. And then What Moves the Dead is another one. That's the only show I can think of on the top of my head. There are others, but yeah. So the next couple of weeks it'll be me until it's not, and then Jacob will talk about some book he read. Because
So,
currently he's like hands deep in the Wheel of Time series.
yeah, I have not touched that book in the last week. I got to finish it because I'm
Fair,
on book
fair.
4.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
I'm on book 4 out of 14.
Oh,
Like, yeah, The Wheel of Time is one of the longest book series I've ever read,
fair.
and each book is, hold on, how many pages is in book 4, The Shadow Rising? Okay,
Uh,
so my Kindle edition has 1,032 pages.
ooh,
So, and I'm only on chapter 9.
damn. That's
So,
fair. That's fair. But yeah, so I'll be doing the next couple weeks, and then Jacob. Then we'll start going back and forth between me and Jacob. That is the goal eventually to do. Um, yeah. So buckle up. We'll stay in the world of Ookie Spooky because even though, well, you all will soon learn. I like books on the Ookie Spooky side of things.
yep.
It's not going to be much gay love. I mean, there could be some gay love depending on which book I read, but like for the most part, we're going to get some Ookie Spooky stuff. A lot.
I will say, um, I will say, after we're done with your Ookie Spooky, we can go ahead and review the novelization of Gojira and Godzilla Raids Again. We
Yes.
both read it. I just gotta quickly finish up Godzilla Raids Again. I gotta tell you though, Godzilla Raids Again is not my favorite.
Oh,
It really isn't.
and oh,
I've seen the movie and I'm reading the book and I'm like, okay, yeah, I've seen. It's basic. The books are basically just an exact telling of the movies.
yeah,
Like there, unlike with most movie novelizations, there's like little extra details they put in there. But these two books are just exact retelling of how it happens in the movies.
yeah,
So I started reading. I already finished Godzilla. Now I just got to finish reading Raids Again, and I'm like,
yeah. That's
yeah,
fair.
this was probably the weakest Godzilla, and that's saying a lot because there's like Godzilla has had some terrible movies, like Matthew Broderick's American
Oh,
First American Godzilla,
damn.
and then like there was a few there was a few books. I'm sorry, a few movies that came out in the 70s that kind of killed the Showa era, like Godzilla versus Megalon, and because I was about to say Godzilla versus Hedorah, but Hedorah, that one was actually really good.
Yeah.
But anyway, uh, so that is pretty much it for this episode.
Yes. Catch us next time as I take down a road of Ookie Spooky. Until then,
Which book are we
oh,
doing next week?
which book? Let me get the author's name before I say it. The Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. Moreno.
Awesome. So guys, catch us next time. But until then, bye.
Bye.